What's up, everybody? Well, we're back. Great to be back on Arkives. I'm your host, Matthew Pomara, along with our podcast producer extraordinaire, the Gold Jacket Man himself, the one and only Tino Patino III, and our returning champion, Chris Vaccaro. Welcome. What's up, fellas?
Summer. Here we are.
Yeah, we survived. Survived the month of June. That was definitely a harrowing experience. It was a tough couple of weeks there, but we came out on the other side. Super excited about what's next, and this is episode 9. So we have one more till the end of season 1, the season finale, which will be next month. We got all kinds of exciting concepts coming for that one. But let's get to the matter at hand. So episode 9. Obviously, June, we work with a lot of schools. So what does that mean? Happy graduation. Tell us about graduation, moving up. Tell us all about it.
From our perspective, I often say these are part of our jewel events. There's a handful of tentpole items that have to be treated with real strategic communication and content. Video, galleries that show movement, the highlight reel mentality so people can relive what will be one of the most special moments in the lives of these students. So we were there to cover all of our clients' big moments, from the speeches to the top academic performers to, in my case, I actually, for the last decade, have picked the commencement speakers for the Sachem graduations and cover those specific speeches and have those materials available as points of inspiration for a giant alumni group. So there's just a lot of work that goes into that culminating moment. And that's the final event. But as you alluded to, June has just been crazy, on top of us really finding our bearings and building a business throughout the entire academic year. So it was great. It was a good moment, special moment. I did get a 40-second ovation / very deep emotional shout out from the class president at Sachem North, who's our shining star on the radio. And that was a very touching tribute that did bring me to tears because of the emotional connection we have and helping build her career. And, that really put a cherry on top of the graduation experience for me. But seeing the hundreds of thousands of impressions and views and engagement that we're getting for our clients in that specific magic moment, shows it's worth the extra effort and work that we put into it all.
I feel the same way, and especially when we're watching this video here on the screen, I just want you guys, this is my favorite moment, my dual phone action, getting both sides of the students throwing their caps. I mentioned that to Matt. I was happy to now display it perfectly. Couldn't have done any better there. And this is what it was like, doing one of these, doing one of those, and it felt great because, like Chris mentioned, it was a culmination of an awesome school year, everything we put into, and not just us, the students, the faculty, the staff, everyone coming together. But for us, it was like, to me, this was the championship game, right? You work all year for that moment to capture the content and to showcase the stories, what the students had to say, the teachers involved, principals, superintendents. And it was great to be a part of something like that because you really felt like, or at least I did, I felt like I was there, like in the mix, felt like I was graduating. I felt like a part of the community. And that's why we do what we do. That's why we're on site, not just at the crown jewel events, but at all the little things in between as well. And we make it feel very special for everyone involved.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's so for me, it was 35 years ago that I graduated from high school, literally 35 years. I still have the photo is still hanging in my office. And I was lucky because my dad got to present me with my diploma.
Yeah, it's really special.
Yeah, so it was, but it's such a culmination because it's 13 years. Like I graduated from college too, but it didn't have the same feel just because, your whole life was going to school and now you graduate. It's just a really, it's a very special moment. Very cool. And, we're going to get to it later too, but Tino on the way back from the East Hampton graduation stopped by, got to feed him a little bit here Should have put that video in here. That would have been funny. You got to throw that on the channel. But and then you guys were out early in the morning the following day. Just you guys did a tremendous job. The whole team. I can't say enough about our team and the work they did covering the graduations and bringing it to the people who can't be there. They've had people, that just can't be there, and this gives that moment to them so they can see it, even though they're far away. They can still feel like they're part of it and be part of it. So awesome, just awesome work, team. Couldn't be prouder of the work we did. Everybody on our team helping bringing it to life, and then I like the dual action phones. Double barrel, pretty wild. All right, Chris, you want to put a bow on it, or we'll move to the next topic?
Oh, let's go to the next one, because we could it's this culminating perspective of it. It wasn't just that moment. It's
bittersweet, right?
Yeah, and it really is in the case of the relationships that we built with the student journalists, especially at Sachem, where, I've and Tino a lot as well, worked very closely with them to help them hone their craft. And, you lose that in the sense of those specific people, but now it's the depth chart. And I want to talk about that more when we get to the radio and the awards and the things that we're going to talk about today. But there's a bit of a passing of the torch that is also very important to keep the progress moving forward.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And for me, it was very hard to say goodbye to the interns in Mineola. But I've done it before, and it's funny too, because they'll say stuff to me and they'll be like, I still want to help, and I'll get in touch with you. And if there's any way I can help the next generation of kids. And I'm like, no, you won't. I'm like, go on with your life, move on, go to, do great things in college. And then hopefully you'll be like us someday and go back and give back to your alma mater or the different students that you get a chance to work with. So awesome stuff. Excited. And then big moment for ARC as a company.
Oh, yeah.
So we had the all hands call. That was us getting ready for the all hands call. I would also like to note to everyone that the camera adds 15 pounds. And as Tino correctly pointed out, he had more than one camera going at the same time. So that would explain my giant gut in the picture.
I'd also like to point out that maybe we're not as short as the one picture in the elevator made.
Let's see that one again.
While he's definitely much larger than us, I look like a midget. And not that there's anything wrong with that, of course, but
I had such an amazing experience at this all hands call. Now I've been part of every single one of them. And when we started, it was about 8 to 10 people. I mean, we had, 5 pages of people on the teams. And that wasn't everybody because, but I had an amazing experience. First time we had a live audience. I don't want to embarrass them, but somebody won an award, an all hands award. And who might that be?
Me.
This guy. I don't know which way it points, but this guy.
You pointed to me. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
But great work by Tino. Outstanding an award. You embody the spirit of what we're trying to do here as an organization. But I loved having a live audience because I got I'm very blessed to do the presentation of the awards. Tell them what we did in the car ride over, because we all rode together, which, by the way, I think that was a great experience too. Just having that team time and camaraderie. We were laughing.
Yeah.
The warm up.
If we can be in person for these going forward, since it's usually, 3, maybe 4 at the most times a year, it was good. And the crazy part to think is when the next time we do this, there's going to be even more people in the room, as we continue to build the business and the amount of people that are joining us. It's pretty special to see that growth, especially as you're saying, the 8 people that were on there once, even before I was on the team. So, so we were driving from the East End to Garden City, and Matt was rehearsing the lines of what he was going to read about a couple of different honorees that day. And he read like a faux paragraph about a random person. In my head, I'm like, I don't even know who that is. Who the hell is that? And so, I mean, I knew he was going to do that, but Tino's in the back probably shaking his head like, great, all that work for, a lot of you going to be recognized. Because I know, it means something to Tino because he really cares about what we're doing here. And it was well-deserved. And yes, fun car ride, really cool meeting, incredible growth across the entire ARC landscape. Not just our media division,
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is small in the grand scheme of the big company, which is something that's important for us to all know and realize that we are part of something really big, which is really fun. I've been a part of many companies that have started small and grown big, and it's the best feeling when you're building something. I never want to stop building something, because when that feeling goes away, then it's never going to be the same. So we got to always continue to build. And I think we can with the way we're doing this now. There should be no end in sight, but there should be like the constant ability to evolve with our content, with all the great, things that we have going for us. So.
Yeah, we're absolutely crushing it in the casino business, the gaming space. Those numbers are just astronomical. So, continued great growth. It was great to see my guys that are like brothers to me on the other side, with Mike Shook and Danny Glassman and Leon Mills, just doing their stuff. And then obviously being with you two was amazing. Look, there's our team. It was a lot of fun. Chris always doing the gesture. It was good. And I want to say something else, and then I'm going to let Tino have.
Oh yeah, that is those are Italian hand gesture. Just in case if you think I'm doing something else in the corner, as I looked at that quickly, that could be suspect, but it's not.
I want to say one more other thing on that too, is that a lot of people in that room and people on that call, when the call was over, went back and had to go back to work. And Danielle had a very personal thing that she had to handle, and she made herself available to come because she wanted to be with her teammates. And then a lot of those people were like, all right, I gotta thank you, this is great, now I got to go back to work, because June is the crazy time for us in this business. So I couldn't be more proud of the team. Just a great job. I can't believe the size and the depth of ARC and how much ARC has grown. In my 4 years, it started as a concept, and now it's seeing it in practice, and then having this part of the business just be in such high demand and such growth. I'm so grateful for all of that. T, I'm going to give you the last word on this one, since you were the big award winner.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. It was something that really did mean so much to me, and still does. It's something I think about to motivate me to keep going. It's not necessarily the physical award or winning that matters to me the most. It's just it's the fact that what we do can inspire and motivate people to continue doing everything we're doing, because we're doing things the right way. We're doing things differently, and we're doing it the ARC way, and we're doing it all together. Like you said, like this photo is cool to me because it's not just the people that are there around the table. If you look in the middle, you got the virtual side, and that's only one page, and anytime I can meet the team members, Mr. CEO himself walking in there with my crazy gold jacket, felt a little weird about that. But I, that's what we do. We go in and we make a statement, we get the people engaged. And to piggyback off the story time, when you were reading the fake person, I didn't even realize, I was in the back seat doing my hair the whole time, the whole ride. And good thing I did, because I looked very sharp for when I received the award. And like I said, I really appreciate you guys. Of course, I couldn't say that enough, because obviously without you, there's no me. I look at it like owner, coach, QB1 type of relationship here, and that means a lot to me, because it's a great team, and we built something, and it's continuing to grow every single day. And there's nothing better than seeing that and trying to get more people aboard the ship, the ARC, and keep it rowing forward. And I'm glad you did mention Danielle, one of our great team members, because you had a great photo with her as well, right?
So that is the Asset Golf outing. I consider myself the master of merch, but I might have to give up that title to Dr. Z. Dr. Zablonis over in Plain Edge, the new Super Plain Edge. He was the one who designed the pinstripe party, shirts. Obviously, there's a Yankee theme. We all went with numbers and our names on the back. So really cool. Danielle serves as one of I think she's the secretary of Asset. I forget her exact title. So she was doing double duty that day. So it was great to be with her. And look, the money that's raised goes to things like scholarships. One of the scholarship winners was none other then our ARC Igor D'Souza, who is just a tremendous, person, great kid. He is going to Binghamton in the fall. So I told him, unfortunately, he's not rid of me because my son goes to Binghamton and I will be up there. But it was really cool. Just go back to the picture one second. I want to tell a funny part of the story. So talking about height. So Igor and I hold the checkup and we covered up Miss Fishman, the superintendent, by accident, and she slapped it down. And she was a great sport about it, but she literally slapped it down. She was like, "You're covering me up," and I'm like, so it was so funny. But it was totally unconscious because we were both taller people. So yeah, we covered up the superintendent. Not a great career move to cover up the superintendent in a picture. But yeah, the asset does a great job. Really an important organization. We came in second place in the outing, and we lost on a dice toss for golf, which makes no sense. We should have done a sudden death hole, or truthfully, what you're supposed to do is go to the number one handicap, and whoever had the better score gets that. Unfortunately, that's lost to history here, but we had a heck of a time. Great outing. I played with a great group of guys. But yeah, Dr. Z, I owe him big time because it was his idea to come up with the matching uniforms, and I would venture to guess you might see those again this summer, one or two more times.
I'd love to throw that on. I mean, get me out there too. Maybe Chris and I can match like you and Danielle. What do you think, Chris?
Let's just drive around the cart and capture content.
Yeah. All right. So
we can match however you want, but I don't want to go.
You have a great student like Igor, and I think about the evolution of student media. So let's talk a little bit about how we're evolving student media as an organization and some of the stuff we're doing.
Yeah, it's been a very hands-on, workshop-driven, day-by-day ability to help students tell stories of their school community. That's not something that's said in jest or matter-of-factly. We have imparted our experience and wisdom upon student storytellers so that they're picking up phones and cameras and microphones and getting in studios and developing content and thinking strategically and learning how to be sideline reporters, learning how to be videographers. I'm working with a student this summer to launch a documentary series about the health and future and sustainability of Lake Ronkonkoma. Has an interest, has a camera, wants to tell stories. And I said, okay, the second with the student showing me a sliver of interest, I will capitalize on that and, turn around really great content. Another student really built an aptitude for social graphics and social posting and, a lot of his own stand-ups related to sports storytelling. And I said, you know what, I think it'd be unique if you started to do some Long Island Ducks recaps and reports and start doing it on social with your own video and your own highlight reels. And then I'll shadow you, or you could shadow me at a couple of Ducks games this summer. So we're going to do that and, get him interviewing pro athletes and so on. The whole idea of what we built, and I always say this, that we may have built this new modern form of storytelling at WSHR, but it has existed for 60 years. So, I've always respected the history, and uniquely and not ironically, we're all a part of it and a product of it. And we've talked about it before, but that was the building block for what I viewed as a really big opening to help many students across Long Island in the buildings and districts where we are a partner and have clients. And so the future of our student media program is to do more of that and to, get under the hood. And if they have a TV station, if they have a podcast studio, if they have a fledgling newspaper, news website, we want to help them with it. We want to not obviously take over the role of what their existing teachers do, but help the teachers teach the students in there and lead workshops, provide the notes and feedback and tidbits to help them go and think a little bit more outside the box, because we've been in those situations, and I think I've shown the great success that we've done at Sachem. There's more to do with that storytelling approach everywhere. Doesn't matter if it's a sixth grader or a senior just about to embark on a college experience, or helping a journalism teacher, understand some of the key tenets and assets related to journalism education. So there's a lot more to come. We'll have more to share about that, but I've never been more clear about this path for our additional services, if you will. I hate to look at it like that, but it's true. It is.
Yeah. And value add. Think of it as a value add.
Value add, yeah. And keyword being value, because there's value in our approach for education, in journalism education, and frankly, in the First Amendment and freedom of the press, and teaching students a key element of our democracy, which kind of gets lost today because of the amount of criticism of media. But at the same time, we're all consuming media all day long. We're literally creating it as we speak, and people will consume this. And so that's a piece of it, the ability to talk freely and share opinion, but understand the difference between opinion and news. And so news literacy and how it relates to a portrait of a graduate is all in the elements that we will be sharing. That, again, and I say this confidently, nobody else can do this in the market. Nobody else has a
Nobody else is trying. They're all
trying.
Going and banging the stamp and just sending out the same product they've been sending out for 30 years.
Personnel. They don't have the people with the experience to go and push these boundaries. And there's a very intrinsic, it matters to us, not because this is some job. It's like the evolution of this team and this company and our mission is mixed into this greater calling of that, multi-platform storytelling. Now we're getting the students to do it as a tentacle of our greater good. And this is a great example on the screen here. Everything that we were building with WSHR over the last year, HM Radio, got us in the room at the NBA draft. They reached out through a contact and said, hey, we've had the New York Times Summer Institute students here in the past. Why don't you pick some students from your group and come and tell the story of what's happening that night at the NBA draft? And we did. And it was, I've covered Super Bowls, Olympics, hundreds of professional sporting events, maybe thousands. And I don't know if I've been as proud as that night, seeing 5 high school students record video, ask questions, do the research, come prepared with their notes, deliver the content immediately that night on social. And that's what I'm talking about. We're a media agency facilitating storytelling in ways that are unimaginable, that are literally changing the lives of those students. And there's no greater importance. And the NBA draft was a lot of fun, but it was more fun to see, those students exceed and excel, and to have Tino there as well, helping and guiding.
Did I see Tino sneak into that picture?
Yeah, it was a very big help. It was a very big help because I had to show up as the event was starting, and I wanted to make sure Tino was there while people were arriving. But at the same time, Tino was creating templates and posting on social and gathering video as he does best. So it was just another team effort. It was really, really special night. So that's a product of what we're capable of doing here. No one else is doing it.
Awesome. And if I'm not mistaken, go ahead, T.
Well, real quick, I was going to add, being a part of that hands-on experience like that is not only, to me, is it gratifying instantly and fulfilling to see the students' hard work pay off in that way to get to that moment, but this is an opportunity, put it back on the screen here, to be live on site talking to professional athletes is, for high school students, not something that the opportunity comes around all the time. I myself got to go to the NBA draft. I graduated college. This is 3 years ago, working for a company that I definitely won't mention their name, but I was producing content for them, and I got to go to the draft. But I was not inside the stadium. I was outside trying to talk to anyone on the street, and I was making good content. But what we provide is this right there, live on scene. Alyssa Tappan, the graphic that you see, our students made themselves. We get a nice photo all together. She's talking to one of the players there, and it was awesome too because she was nervous. Yeah, as you should be. You should be nervous for a moment like that, because that you can turn into pressure makes diamonds, right? It was just a moment that I was able to see that happening in real time, like Chris mentioned, and the different facets that make up a team. We had someone, yes, doing video, but also editing graphics. And I was recording a student recording another student who was recording all of us, going to make a documentary about that. Like, that's what goes into making a well-oiled machine, and that's what they'll experience when they continue moving forward into they're in the real world now, but when they go off and do different things, that's what they'll have the preparation for. And this is above collegiate level experience that they're getting. So it's just cool. It gets me fired up. This was, like you guys said, it's not a job that we're doing. It's just our lives. We're just living. And to me, this is always something that I wanted to do, because this specific path that we're paving, we know doesn't exist because we're making it happen, each and every day. But when I was growing up, going through the ranks, seeing social media evolve itself, that's nothing that was really taught to me. I had to learn it. I had to experience it. I had to fail. I had to grow on my own and through the help of Chris and, my supporters around me. But now we're able to provide the experience that I had to give these students a sort of a leg up, an advantage, because this didn't exist when I was WSHR did, but what we've now elevated it to and now provide to many of our different partners out there is something truly special.
Awesome. Well, and look, we were talking about how good the program's going and things, because we're working in a lot of different schools, but we're not the only people that think that we're doing a great job on this. So who else does?
The Press Club of Long Island and the local pro chapter of the Society of Professional Journalists. So WSHR is officially the #1 student media outlet on Long Island, according to one of the biggest professional journalism service organizations in the country. We not only won the highest honor in journalism of any level, professional or student, but we also won, another 10 awards for sports reporting, entertainment reporting. We had the best reporter on Long Island. She won the High School Journalism Scholarship Award as well. The Bob Green Award, however, is annually won by Newsday, and Newsday. And so to be in that conversation based on public service, which you might break that down with, well, what does that mean? Well, we use WSHR to serve content, inform, and engage the community on all platforms with students. So it serves, as you've already heard today and many times before, it serves as journalism education. It serves as community journalism. And the public is more informed and more engaged within the Sachem community and greater Long Island because of WSHR. And that perfect storm of storytelling and education and student media mixed with, frankly, a region that's pretty large. It doesn't have enough news coverage. And we helped fill that gap, which in some cases it's called a news desert. I won't go that far and say that that's the case, but in Sachem community, 7 towns or so, hamlets and villages and such, there has never really been a consistent, not for a long time anyway, the Ronkonkoma Review, sometimes these the messenger newspapers. I've had the Sachem Report blog just to keep people informed of fun alumni and historic stories for the past, 14 years myself doing that. And WSHR, has trumped all of those in big numbers. I'm talking 1 million impressions a month at a minimum, and 30 to 50,000 listeners on the radio a day at a minimum. And so that night was the culmination. However, frankly, it was the beginning. It was a reminder that we never really left, but we're here, and we are the top of the food chain when it comes to student media. Bottom line.
Yeah, like I said, it's good to see other people noticing. One of the things I always share with people is I'm getting to the age in my life where I'm going to buildings named after people I used to work with, and this is no exception. I actually knew Bob Green. He helped me write a story when I was in college, and I did a revisit and a recap on Chappaquiddick which he was very instrumental in breaking that story. And then he helped me do things. So that's a pretty wild. When I saw the name, I would like kind of blew me away a little bit. So yeah, just an absolute great work. And again, you guys are to be applauded for all the stuff that that you were able to accomplish here. And just tremendous. 11 awards. I mean, that says something. We got to put that, by the way, we got to put that on the marketing materials. I don't think that's, I don't think we told anybody that. So we definitely got to share that. It's pretty great stuff. T, you want a final word on that one?
Hanging banners in year one.
Well done. That's what, well done. Not only a great producer, he's a great color man as well. So, all right, awesome. All right, let's talk some new stuff, man. We got some really cool, really interesting and really cool things coming on online. T, why don't you take us out on this one?
All right, well, I have mentioned them before in the past. One of our partners here and people we produce some content for with and work together to just continue to evolve leadership and teach the different strategies there. We're talking about JLC, and I was thinking that I would be behind the scenes for this video I'm about to show. I would just be behind the camera.
No chance.
Oh no. And I couldn't have been more excited to be here. I'm going to play the clip here. The full podcast is going to be up by the time you're watching this one of us, but such a cool thing to be a part of. Here we go. JLC new podcast. What is presence?
So tone of talk and cadence are critical. And both Tino and Vincent have demonstrated incredible tone of talk. I want to be with them. I want to talk about this more. And their cadence, it wasn't fast or, And did you notice both gentlemen took a few seconds before they responded to my provocation? There's something about that pause that pulls people in. So we're talking about presence. We really want to be able to talk about that. The second is your stance. What's your body language? Are you leaning into the conversation or are you leaning back? Gotcha.
You got to tune in to catch the full thing. I wanted to let the whole thing play out long. I could sit here and watch that all day because it's such a cool feeling to be a part of something like that with the best in the biz, keeping me on my toes, keeping me locked in, being able to learn and grow on the fly. I felt it in the moment happening. And I've said this before on the show, like when I edit their content and their content being videos and podcasts and sessions like that where leaders can come together to learn about the evolution of the art of leadership. That's what makes me feel excited about the specific editing portion of my job. And now to be able to be a part of it like that was surreal. And I said that to Ray. I kept calling him sir just out of respect. He said, you got to cut that out. So I thought that was funny too. But me, him, Vincent being there, the first episode will be out already as the time that you're watching this one of the archives. But more to come from that. Just really talking about how the evolution of leadership continues to grow and how they are ahead of it and continuing to guide leaders and form new ones each and every day.
So I was just in a meeting. I want to say it depends on when you're going to be watching this, but I was in a meeting recently and I was literally, without trying to do it, quoting Dr. Jorgensen and Dr. Butera. It wasn't like my plan. And it wasn't like I was like, oh, it's just one of those things that kind of, getting to, like I said, sit under the learning tree with them. I'm excited. We're gonna have them in the fall for an ARC event that we're gonna tell you about in our season finale episode of Arkives. But those guys are it's funny when you said like, oh, I thought I'd be sitting back. I'm like, there's just no chance that they'll let you do that. But literally, I'm in a meeting. I'm quoting both of them, and I'm like, where did I get that? And I'm like, oh, that's where I got it from. So pretty wild stuff.
Yes, sir.
The power of JLC.
Nice. What else?
Oh, we got another big one.
Another one that I know that we're all super excited about.
Golf.
Sports. So full disclosure, I was I'm a competitive person, as most people know, and I actually almost bumped one of my friends and clients to try to bring one of the pros from Noyak to play in that Asset Golf outing. So I'm super excited to have them. They know that your background is NASCAR and they were letting you drive the carts anyway.
They probably don't know that.
No. I told him. He was like, first day on the job. I believe I was meet Pat for the first time. Great guy. Luke as well over there. And he's telling me you can use this specific golf cart goes fast. Like all the other ones have like certain limits. This one's unlimited. And I said, well, this is great because I'm a NASCAR guy. And I hopped in, sped away on the green. No, I'm just kidding. I was respectful. No, but it was such a great being there. It's cool because now we're experiencing all the different aspects that come from different content creating opportunities, right? So being out there on the golf course, way different than my normal Tuesday in an elementary school with all the kids yelling at me and everything like that. So this is much more calm, peaceful. You see the members out there. Just the most recent tournament that they had there was awesome. It went very well. 2 days over the weekend, got a lot of good video, got a lot of good photos, met some awesome people. And I mean, just for the start, you can look at the account. Hopefully everyone that's watching this is following along, hitting the follow button for Noyak Golf Club as well. I mean, you see the engagements on there, pretty good for just what?
Very
Chris,
good.
A month, 2 weeks?
Yeah, about a month total with one event, technically. The rest of the content has been information about their foundation. There were some weather issues, so they had to cancel one thing. They had one of their members succeed and play very well in another tournament up at Sleepy Hollow. And so we're covering member news, we're covering foundation news, we're covering events, we're keeping the content consistent, and we're watching the numbers grow. The recipe is nothing that we haven't spoken about before, but again, it's consistent creativity with vertical video helping to tell the story of a specific location. It doesn't matter if it's an elementary school or a professional, beautiful, historic golf course. Our formula applies. And yes, we love schools. We love education, but Absolutely. it is a breath of different air. I won't say fresh air because
literally it is fresh air because we're literally outside.
I love the school setting too, but it's great. I love creating the graphics and telling the day-to-day of what's happening, and then Tino's covering the events and has content to go throughout the summer. It's awesome. It's a really great partner and fun to have them on the client list.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm going to have to let Rebecca know that you were a NASCAR guy and that you are a NASCAR guy. So
we're going to shut that down now.
Yeah. We're going to need to tighten that up, or at least put you on one with a governor on it, so we don't get it. So, hey, listen, we would be remiss if we didn't mention too. We're shooting this in July. America's 250. Kind of going a little bit off script here, but it's America's 250. And just, what a blessing for this country, 250 amazing years. You guys want to comment on that?
No, just that almost underscores and meets the same commentary before about democracy and the freedom of the press and getting to do what we do as storytellers is a really important piece of like understanding and how we're grounded in America and with our discipline and what we do. And so it'll be a really special moment in our history. I'm already counting the days with my kids. I'm like, hey, I may be able to be here for America 300 if it all works out well.
I won't.
Probably not. So, already worried about
there's no shot of that for me. But I was at 200. So you were at 200. So I will not make 300. But I was at 200. I was a little boy, actually pretty much a baby. And then this is a great moment. I think it's a great moment for us as it's a great feeling, right? It's a great feeling because I think it permeates into our business, into what we're trying to instill in our students, instill in our clients. So just great stuff.
Cool. Got to keep it going. That's the bottom line. Having a lot of fun, making a lot of stories, inspiring, informing, engaging, communicating. It's what we do. Just getting started. Keep that feeling moving, boys.
All right. Anything else, T, you want to get, since you were the big award winner, you want to get the last word before I give the outro?
Well, I'm always an award winner when I'm with you guys. And one thing I'll pull up here is just another reminder about the work that we've all talked about on this show and previous ones. 9 episodes, 9 months of producing this specific show. And we're Long Island's fastest growing technology media agency. And there's no coincidence that everything we talked about and the ways that we feel passionate about our lives and impacting those around us formulates into that, right? I mentioned before, I'm not a math guy, but I think this and this and this can all equal that. And that to me is something that I'm very proud of to always bring up on this show and to anyone I see on the street. Arc is here. We're not going away. We're only getting better.
Yeah, and that's a great way to go out on this one. I'm super excited again at what we're building, and we're open for business. So if you like what you heard today, why don't you give us a quick subscribe? Give us a like first, but do a subscribe. You don't want to miss any episodes of the Archives. I want to thank our producer, the one and only Tino Patino III, of course, my Paisano one, the one and only Chris Vaccaro. And again, I'm your proud host, Matt Palmara. We'll see you next time on The Archives.